Welcome back to another episode of Be a Better Baddie. I am Quenisha, of course, your host, your coach, cheerleader, and fellow baddie. And today I have another baddie with me, Miss Sayany. Tell the people who you
Hello.
are. I'm so excited.
Well, hello, Kanisha. Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone. My name is Sayany, and I am known as the Love Conflicts Queen. I have a show on IGTV called Love Conflicts, where I go live every Thursday at 9 p.m. and talk about topics pertaining to the betterment of relationships, friendship, dating, single life, entanglements.
Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm so tired of hearing about them.
I did a dissecting Will Smith and Jada situation this past Thursday, and that's it. I was done.
Mm-hmm.
But I do go live on Instagram and also on TikTok now with Love Solutions. And what we do is we have open discussions about the topic, and towards the end of the show, we come up with love solutions. So this way, if anyone that comes on the show, anyone from the Love Conflicts gang or Love Solutions gang,
Yes,
they're able to, take whatever solutions that we all come up with, and they can add it or implement them into their own personal dating life.
yeah, that's good. I remember when you started with, well, not when you started because I wasn't there for the beginning, but
No, it's okay.
when you had Love Conflicts and then Love Solutions was a new one. I love that you came out with solutions because like it's so easy to talk about conflict, but a lot of people don't want to actually talk about how to resolve the conflict because it requires a lot of reflection, I'm sure, because you are a part of the conflict. So
Exactly. I agree. I agree. I feel like that's one of the reasons why, now I'm also offering, based on my experiences, I want to help people because the whole point of Love Conflicts was that it was born when I was in another relationship. And within this relationship, I started to basically be my own guru. While I created 6 years ago. I created Love Conflicts six years ago on YouTube. And I will admit I was a little ahead of my time because everyone right now is doing what I was doing 6 years ago.
Yeah, everyone's a relationship guru now. Yes, they popped up over quarantine, like 2020.
Yes.
Everybody was a relationship guru.
And the thing is, I don't consider myself a guru. I consider myself a relationship realist.
I like that.
The reason being is because I want to help people based off of my experiences. I want to help them avoid what I went through in my last relationship. So that's why I give tips. And now I have my Love Solutions business where, I'm a consultant. Like that's what I do. And I don't want to say I am an expert. I don't want to say that I am a guru because I am not. I'm going to take notes. I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to apply my solutions that worked for me and see where I can apply them into your life. And that's what I really want to do. I want to spread love, faith, and hope to everyone because I feel like a lot of people have the wrong definition of what love is supposed to be.
Yeah. I would say you definitely bring the realistic approach to it. Like when I tune into your lives, I'm like, this doesn't sound like fluff. Like she's talking about real relationships, like two actual people who come with their own flaws and insecurities and egos and trying to make it work. So that is definitely my favorite part. I like that you call yourself a relationship realist. That is very true.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about dating, of course,
Yes.
Something we both have experience with: interracial dating, intercultural dating. So I was thinking about this topic because on social media, I just seen so many hashtag swirl, hashtag interracial dating, hashtag everything. And I'm just like, I look through the hashtags, and then another one of my friends was just like, you and your boyfriend should start a YouTube because he's not Black. And I'm like, it doesn't sit well with me. That does not sit well with me. I don't like capitalizing on love, but I feel like it's a thing even with Black relationships. I don't know. There's no white love hashtag. There's Black love or interracial, etc. So it got me to thinking about it. And I was just like, you know what? I know someone else who is in an, I don't know if you would call it interracial or intercultural or both, because I mean, race kind of is associated with culture. But yeah, I want to talk about that with you.
Of course. I will say I do consider it both interracial and intercultural. The reason being is because I come from a Dominican background. My entire family is either Dominican or, you know, Puerto Rican, and they're mixed with other cultures. So I feel like that's the reason also why I'm able to, you know, to be comfortable with the fact that my boyfriend is Black. And for someone that doesn't come from or hasn't surrounded themselves around other cultures wouldn't be able to do something like that. It would be difficult for them to understand, okay, and that's just with any culture, you know, with any background. I feel like it's something that it's brand new. It's brand new. You've never had it before. It could be difficult. It could be hard for you to feel comfortable. So that's just one part. For me, I've always been into Black men.
The face, yes. You're like, that's it. Yeah.
You know, that
there's no other.
I'm sorry.
So with that, what do you mean? So I want to clarify. You mean Black men as an African American man or like Dominican guy?
No, African American men.
Okay.
So I've had my experience with with, you know, my Dominican men, you know, well, the men from my culture, Puerto Ricans as well. And I don't know, for some reason, I just really took on more to the African American man.
Yeah.
And it was a different experience for me where I was just like, wow, like I'm able to connect with them more for some reason.
Interesting.
It was very interesting. I was actually talking about this to my boyfriend the other day. Me and my boyfriend were talking about this, and, you know, he would explain to me that if I ever felt uncomfortable when that would happen. And I'm like, well, at first, yeah, I didn't understand it, but I didn't stop myself because, you know, I just really enjoyed being around the African American man. And ever since, I was with someone for 10 years before my relationship now. So
my eyes just got huge. 10.
Yes, 10 years.
Ooh.
10 years. And you know, I usually go for the chocolate, you know. And once I was single, I was like, oh, you know what? Let me try what my boyfriend calls waffle. He calls them waffle color African American men. And I'm like, I don't understand what waffle color means. He calls me waffle.
Yeah, I'm trying to say, you're waffle, right? Is that because I'm trying to think?
Me waffle. No, that's what he means. Yeah, he calls me waffle. So so I was like, okay. So when I explained it to him, he's like, yeah, so you were into trying the different type of African American men. And I was like, yeah, I wanted to experience that. So I did. Just so happens that my my boyfriend educated me in the whole like colorism that happens you know, within the Black background. And that's why I feel like it's important when you are in an interracial, intercultural relationship, there will be uncomfortable conversations that you need to have. And you need to educate each other, because if not, other people are just going to throw salt on what you have.
Yes.
Because it's against, well, lucky for me, I will say I'm grateful that my family is accepting of other cultures. Mm-hmm. In the Dominican culture, I have heard friends of mine that they had a hard time, where the fathers usually be like, no, we don't want anyone Black in the family. Like, it gotta be Dominican.
Another one of my friends is going through that. She's Salvadorian and her husband's Black. And her father still doesn't really accept the relationship because he's Black. They have a kid now, so it's like, you gotta.
So now you have to. Exactly. Now you have to. I'm gonna say that my boyfriend has heard the whole, brought me around, and once I leave the room, he'll probably hear like, why couldn't it be a Black woman? Why did she have to be Hispanic? Mm-hmm. And his take on it was, this is my lady, this is my woman, and you are going to respect her, because it is what it is.
And I doubt he was seeking, hopefully he wasn't, but he was like, I only want a Hispanic woman. Hopefully it was just like, like, you guys just happened to happen. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's where I feel a lot of us go wrong, because we make these assumptions. And again, I'm just talking from my experience. I feel like these assumptions are made of, oh, well, he just dates Hispanic women. I do. I only go for the Black man. That is, yes, me.
Yes,
I do. But in regards to him, no.
Yeah.
He's open to date other cultures. I've tried to do, like, the white man, like, I've tried the Asian, and it was just like, you know what, I think it's better off if we're just friends.
I'm done.
But I had no issues at all. That's just what it was.
Yeah. So thanks for sharing some more insight about how you guys kind of got together and came together. Mm-hmm. And I think that a lot of like social media nowadays, like especially when it comes to Black men and lighter skinned women, it is kind of villainized, because it's like, this is my preference, or I just don't like Black women. They're too something, but this one is it. So definitely sharing that story, I think, is important to hear, because a lot of people may look at your relationship and be like, it's because she's Hispanic, that's it.
Yeah. And the thing is, he's very, how do I explain? He's very open-minded. And it's not like he says it himself. He says, I wish that just all women would stop saying that the Black man just, doesn't want to deal with a Black woman, because it's not true, because I'm not like that. Oh, because a Black woman is this, that he's like, I'm not like that. And I just feel like for those that are out there,
because they are the ones with the platform. Those are the ones with the platform right there. I'm like, can somebody else hold the mic?
Right. And it's like, if you don't shut up,
yes,
like, you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I can understand when, when a Black woman feels some type of way. I could sit there and understand her, because he's explaining this to me and he's educating me and he's letting me know, well, these are the reasons why.
Yeah.
But just imagine if I wasn't with someone like that.
I guess I can't. Yes. I know people who are. Yes, I completely understand, because it is, there are people who don't explain or even understand their own feelings. So it sounds like even like your boyfriend sounds aware of social dynamics, like everything, like but everyone isn't as privy to that knowledge, or I guess blessed to have that. I feel like it's common knowledge, but
it is, but people don't want to accept that.
Yeah. So good. So just thinking about like I wanted to talk a little bit about like the history of interracial relationships because, of course, I had to do my deep dive research.
I appreciate that because you taught me, that article you sent me, that to me, I was like, I need to read this. Yeah. And how it came about, I'm like,
I was shocked.
I had no idea.
Yeah, me neither. So before I get into the research, I would say, yeah, similar to, I've dated a bunch of different guys, definitely a lot of Black guys because I am Black. I will say most recently, my past few relationships, they have not been Black men. So my prior ex was white and Mexican, but he looked like light-skinned Black in a sense, Okay. And now my current boyfriend is Filipino. So I'm a
girl. Okay.
I'm a hopper, I guess one would say. I don't know.
You're like spicy. I like it.
I'm just like, and I hate to say this because it sounds so generic. I just really look at the personality of the person, I'm just like,
that's perfectly fine.
You seem to mesh well. And I will say, surprisingly, for the past few guys, when I was dating, like in my dating phase, when I dated Black guys, they told me I was the first Black girl they dated. These are men approaching their 30s. And I was like, there's no way in hell I'm going to be your first Black girlfriend as a Black man. Because that's what? And I was like, I remember high school, no crushes, like, no. And they were like, I was just a shock.
Wait a minute.
And I was like, I can't even like.
You sure they weren't like exaggerate? Like it was an exaggeration.
You know what? But even so, what is that to exaggerate about?
Because my thing is, so you're telling me from your teen years or from when you was a little boy, you didn't have a thing for the Black woman and you're Black yourself.
Yes. So I was like very, very shocked. Excuse me. So then also with my current boyfriend, and I've had like this conversation with him, he's never dated another Asian woman before. And I was like, initially I was like, how you hop over here? Here.
So it sounds like, I guess within cultures, depending on the culture, because, and there are certain religion, cultures that have, a certain religion that you could only marry and date within that culture.
Yeah.
So it seems like from your experience, they haven't dated anyone of their own. And I went through that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But not that deep, where it's like never.
I'm like, I think, well, at least with my current boyfriend, he said like he did have a crush on, like he liked Asian women, but he's never like been in a relationship with another one. And I was like, that's still crazy to me, especially because I feel like with Asian people, this is just a general idea I have. They date within their own race.
That's what
girl, so let's get to the research. So even when I did my research, Asian people are more likely to date outside their race than any other race. Asian women specifically. And I could see this. And then when I was reading it, I thought about this quote when I was in college. I remember my first year, I was in orientation. It was this Asian girl, and she was like talking to another Asian girl. And she was like, yeah, white and Asian is the best mix for children. And that stuck in my head. And it literally popped back up to the forefront of my mind when I read that. And I was like, okay, I've heard that.
For children, though.
Yeah. Oh, that's later. That's another topic we need to get into because that's another thing. I'm just like, oh, okay. So let me look at this history. Okay. So interracial relationships were technically called, and I hope I'm saying this right, miscegenation. And I didn't like the definition, but the definition is the interbreeding of people considered to be different racial types. So the first law against interracial relationships was made in 1691. The fact that there had to be a law, I think, speaks volumes. Because at this point, it's only like white people, Black people in America,
right?
Native Americans too. I don't know where they were at this time. I'm not a historian, but yeah. So they had to make that law in 1691. If they found out that a white man was in a relationship, because it was most likely a white man in a relationship with a Black woman, the man had to leave Virginia because Virginia was the only state at that time. So he was kind of banned from the community. 1705, they had to up it, right? They were like, yo, y'all leaving, but y'all still doing this. So now you have to pay a tax and spend 6 months in jail if we catch you with another Black woman. Were they done?
Nope.
1848, they said, y'all still doing this.
Right.
Now you go to jail for 12 months. And this is still only for the white partner. Now you're going to jail for 12 months. You still have to pay a tax. It still did not stop. And I'm just like, nope. Of course, it was more so, I don't know. I could only imagine what it was like, but I know slave owners raped slaves. So I doubt that those were consensual relationships, but there had to be something, obvious. Yeah. There had to be something. So 1849, that's when I think an official law was made. So it specifically stated whites and African Americans were, and I quote, absolutely void. So they said again, please leave each other alone. Stop crossbreeding.
And please. Guess what?
They weren't done. They were not done because now they started getting married. So it was no longer relationships. And I don't know how weddings were officiated then, but at this point, and I think this was 1873, the punishment for a marriage was what was it? Well, it was still a fine. And now they actually fined the person who officiated the wedding. And they were also giving money to the person that snitched. So they were like, we need a community to stop this. We need a community to stop this.
Insane. That is insane.
It is. Because as I kept reading, I'm like, okay, when are the punishments going to stop? Why does the punishment keep getting harsh?
And the thing is okay, you could keep sending these punishments, creating these punishments, but I feel like you can't control how you might feel about someone. And it seems like, of course, for the ones that weren't consensual, the ones that were consensual, it was just like, I really feel this way about you. So I'm not going. And I feel like also the white partner at that time knew that they had that power of, you know what, I am going to save our relationship. I don't care what anyone has to say. I'm going to go to jail. Yeah. Okay. 6 months. Okay. 12 months. Okay. What else?
True. They could have been getting out and be like, I'm going back.
Right.
I'm going back. But I think it's interesting that even with this, white people, the punishment, I can only imagine they didn't say, because I doubt the Black person was A-okay. They're naming the punishment for the white person.
Yeah.
They could have burnt, beat, tarred that Black person. We don't know what happened,
You're
so it's
absolutely right.
Black people are definitely still getting the brunt, I guess, of dating interracially. Thinking about even the social punishment even, but we'll get into that, the current social punishment. Okay, so let's see. So between 1865 and 1870, there were more than 20 interracial marriages. So America still was not that big. It still was not a full country. Before, it was just Virginia, the state. So now we're still kicking. People are still getting married. So until 1967, it was illegal to marry someone from the other race. So that's when we had the case Loving versus Virginia. Cute little story. I think it was a Black woman and a white man. So that year, 1967, when interracial relationships were legalized, and I'm going to link this article, all the articles I looked at in the show notes. Yes. But 3% in 1967, 3% of those marriages were interracial. 1980, it increased to 7%. In the last year that they did research on this was 2015, and it was 17% of newlywed couples were interracial.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it just kept increasing.
Yeah, it was okay, it's legal. I just can't get over the punishment, how they kept up in the ante every year. They were like, you still
you still don't get it? No problem. I'm gonna still go to jail.
Yeah. Like, because people were going to jail. For sure.
Of course. But again, when you have, it's just like the whole love, right? The definition of love is a deep affection. Is a deep affection, is a deep emotion that builds over time. So the fact that, no one is able to control them, not even the fact that they're going to go to jail, there's going to be a fine, it says a lot.
Yes.
So if only people did this type of research the way that you just did, and I mean, you educated me. And that's what I mean. It's like, it's so important to do this. Like, you don't feel some type of way about me. I don't feel no type of way about you, because we're open-minded. We're able to be mature enough to have a conversation and not feel no type of way and keep it real.
Yeah.
If there is something that I like this, I wasn't aware of the Loving versus Virginia, like the fact that they named it that, and the history behind it is so important. I really hope that when people listen to this podcast, that they actually do their own research and understand that it goes way, way, like years and years, decades, where they couldn't control their feelings, and this didn't stop them.
No, it did not. So I think that even when you said that, we are open-minded, another part of my research that I just thought about was they did a survey. Let me look down. Okay, so over the years, like, Americans have become more accepting of interracial relationships. But so in 1990, 63% of adults said they would be opposed to a close relative marrying a Black person. That's 1990. Then in 2016, that number dropped to 14%, but it's still even, they would be opposed to someone in their family marrying a Black person. Like, why? So what, and it covers so many things. The first thing that came into my mind is like, marrying a Black person would drop the social currency of another person. Because thinking about neighborhoods, for instance, Black people move in, the rate or the price of the community, right? It goes down in a sense, like. So that was very surprising, like that many adults would say that. So 2016 is at 14%. Again, in 2022, I'm pretty sure the numbers are lower. They should be.
Yeah.
They should.
I believe so. I believe so. Yes.
They should be. Let's see, a few more things that I thought was very interesting before we get back. We already said Asian people are more likely to marry outside their race, then Hispanic people, then Blacks, then white people. Okay. Black men are twice as likely as Black women to have a spouse of a different race or ethnicity, especially when they are college educated. Let's see. I think that was it. Was there anything else from the research that stood out to you?
It was mostly that, like you pointed that out. Like, for me, it was just so shocking how hard the laws were trying to just break the Black and white couple, the interracial couple, like break them apart, because they just, the history behind, Blacks being slaves and, well, African Americans, like they say in the history books, right? They talk about it, but they also don't talk about how, I feel like over the years, they started creating movies where you saw the interracial couple. You saw that couple that fell in love with each other. And no matter what, they just didn't stop.
Yes.
And it says a lot about the fact that it doesn't matter what background, culture, or skin color you have, or where you are from. the fact that you accept someone for who they are and you love them for who they are internally,
yes,
spiritually, I feel that's very important. And I hope that in today's world, like I just said, we need to do our research,
yes,
and really understand that there's so much more to, and again, I could understand how certain cultures or backgrounds would feel some type of way when you date outside of it, because this is something that's been built for years within their own religion, within their own culture, where it's like,
structure.
No, you have to keep reproducing within, within your background, within your race, within your race, and that is it. But I hope that in today's world, again, the fact that you're talking about this, and I really love the fact that you're doing this. I hope that when people listen to this, that they will understand, even, for example, like your friend, her father needs to understand, listen, I get it, but your grandchild is half Black.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you can do about it. I don't think
there are going to be any, like, I think majority of the population in 50 years is going to be multiracial or biracial.
Absolutely.
Like
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you got.
So I have a friend of mine that is Dominican and Jamaican. She's Dominican and Jamaican. And when I tell you, when she tells people this, they're like, what? But she's like, yeah, my father is Jamaican and my mother is Dominican. And this was years ago when they met, you know what I mean? And they fell in love with each other. And this is what happened. So the fact that we're able to, the multicultural is going to happen because you have a lot of people now, and a lot of kids that are being born now that are Irish. They're Irish, they're Black, they got Japanese in them. Like, it's a whole bloodline that you're just like, I can't do anything about that. So I can't do nothing about that. So how are you going to tell me that I can't date outside of my race? What am I supposed to sit down and choose and be like, well, I'm going to go and, okay, I can't date this person because I'm Irish, Black, and let's say Philippine, right?
Yeah.
I like, what are you supposed to do?
Some people,
what are you supposed to do?
But some people just stick to whatever they identify as, and then they'll go with it, even thinking about what that person's phenotype may be. So someone who's Irish, what'd you say? Irish, Black, Filipino, and we don't know what they'll look like. They'll find another mixed person, I guess, just thinking, because it's weird. We're naturally attracted to people that kind of look like us or remind us of ourselves in some kind of way. So it is weird, especially when I think about it for me, because I'm just like, what is my type? Like, I had a solid type, I will say, definitely from 18 to 20, 25, 24-ish. So I definitely had a solid type, but I think that as I got older, I was just like, is that type actually serving me? Like, I'm chasing physical.
That was going to be my question to you. Because I've read many, especially on social media, where I've read some people feel like other cultures are trying to like wipe out the Black DNA, the African American DNA, and which is why they go against the African American going to date someone like outside of their race. And when I read that, I just felt like, wow, like the fact that, and again, when I asked my boyfriend about it, he educated me, and I could understand. I could really sit here and be like, I could understand. I really could. So I just want to ask you, as a Black woman, do you feel that way? Do you feel like that's what, like other cultures, like, or just what we call the white America is really trying to do?
Do I think there is an agenda, like a political
Yes.
agenda? I honestly, this is a side note before I get back on track. So, do I think there's a political agenda? Me, no. But watching these shows about like what goes on in the government, like you never know.
Right.
Like
Right.
you truly never know. Like I'm not a conspiracy theorist per se because it
Right.
can get too deep. But do I like
Right.
engage in a little conspiracy theory every once in a while? Yeah, I'm like, dang, that would make
Me too.
sense. And I'm like,
Me
okay,
too.
so
Right. Right.
I with me in my world right now, no, I don't think there's like an agenda, but it is a concern that I've had because I'm like, okay,
Mm.
I look black. I have a child with you. My child will be mixed. And like, there's nothing, I'm still going to love my child, but I still want a black child. Like, I still want to
Absolutely.
raise a little black girl or black
Of
boy,
course.
maybe, but a little girl, preferably,
Right.
you know?
You sound like
So,
me. I'm like, I want a girl.
yeah. So I've definitely made that clear. I'm like, I'm adopting a black child that has 4C curly hair like mine. Like
Yes.
I want that. And I don't think that that it takes away from what I feel for this person or what I will feel for my boyfriend in the future as we progress. But
Right.
I see for myself a black little girl. So, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Be a Better Baddie. I cut it right there because the conversation is going to continue. It's a really long one, so I split it into two parts. Make sure you tune in next week to hear the conversation between Yanni and I because things are going to get a little bit more complicated. Another thing I want to add, make sure that you are following me on social media and make sure you're following Yanni on social media. I will leave all of her contact information below. I hope you guys have a beautiful, wonderful, productive day, and I hope you've really enjoyed this episode. So, see you in the next one. Bye.